Your pancreas is destroying itself right now. And the worst part? You're helping it do it. Not intentionally, not recklessly, just by living your normal, ordinary day. The breakfast you had this morning, what you did or didn't do after your last meal, how you fell asleep last night. 5 completely normal daily habits. And every single one of them is triggering a process inside this organ that doctors call autodigestion, where the pancreas literally begins using its own enzymes to digest itself. I know that sounds alarming. It should. Because here's what the thumbnail didn't tell you. There's a way to stop it. A 2-ingredient drink that costs less than $2. That traditional healers in the Caucasus Mountains have been using for generations, and that modern science has now confirmed works at a biochemical level to calm, protect, and begin restoring pancreatic function in as little as 7 days. I'm going to give you that recipe today, completely free. No supplement to buy, no prescription needed. But you need to understand why your pancreas is under attack first, because if you skip straight to the recipe without understanding what's driving the damage, you'll make that drink every morning and keep doing the exact 5 things that are destroying the organ you're trying to heal. And I've watched that happen too many times. So here's what we're doing in this video. I'm going to show you the 5 daily habits that are silently triggering pancreatic self-destruction, habits that affect nearly everyone over 55. Then I'm going to give you the drink, the recovery protocol, and the 3 physical warning signs you can check on your own body right now to know how urgent your situation actually is. If you've been dealing with bloating after meals, that nagging heaviness under your left rib, blood sugar that creeps up no matter what you eat, or digestive discomfort that nobody seems to have a real answer for, this video was made for you. Stay with me. Everything changes once you understand what's actually happening inside. Section 1. The organ. Nobody talks about. I want you to picture something with me. Somewhere just behind your stomach, tucked quietly behind it, like it's hiding, sits a pale, soft gland about 6 inches long. It weighs roughly the same as a small chocolate bar, and it is working for you right now, whether you notice it or not. This is your pancreas, and it has 2 completely separate jobs that your body cannot live without. Job number 1, it produces digestive enzymes. Every single meal you eat, the oatmeal this morning, the chicken at lunch, only gets broken down because your pancreas releases the exact right chemicals at the exact right moment. Without those enzymes, your food sits undigested. Nutrients never reach your bloodstream. Your body starves even while you eat. Job number 2, it produces insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks your cells and lets blood sugar inside. When insulin production fails, even partially, sugar begins circulating freely in the blood, corroding your blood vessels, your nerves, your kidneys, and the tiny vessels behind your eyes. Now here's the part that most doctors don't explain clearly enough. The enzymes this organ produces are powerful enough to digest meat, which means, and pay close attention here, they are powerful enough to digest the pancreas itself. Normally, those enzymes stay safely inactive until they reach the small intestine. That's where they're supposed to do their job. But when something goes wrong, when the ducts get inflamed, when pressure builds, when blood flow is compromised, those enzymes activate inside the gland. They turn on the organ that produced them. This is called autodigestion, and it's not rare. It's happening right now in millions of people over 60 who have absolutely no idea. The 2024 Global Review in The Lancet confirmed that chronic pancreatic inflammation has more than doubled over the last 3 decades. The average age of diagnosis has dropped from 50 to 39. This disease is no longer something that happens to someone else, far away, much older than you. It may be happening to you, quietly, right now. Section 2. Why your daily habits are the real threat. Now, most people hear pancreas problems and immediately think, that's for heavy drinkers. Yes, alcohol is responsible for roughly 60 to 70% of acute pancreatitis cases. But that's the dramatic version, the kind that lands someone in the emergency room. I'm talking about the slow version, the version that doesn't announce itself, the version that's driven not by alcohol, but by perfectly ordinary, completely normal, everyday habits. Let me walk you through what I see most often in people over 55, and be honest with yourself as I describe these. Habit 1. What you do in the first 10 minutes after waking up. You open your eyes. Maybe you check your phone. Then you walk to the kitchen, and the first thing that hits your stomach is either sweet tea, a glass of packaged orange juice, or a quick slice of toast with jam. Feels harmless, right? Here's what's actually happening. Your body has been fasting for 7 to 9 hours. Blood sugar is at its lowest point. The pancreas has been resting. And then, in one swift motion, you pour a concentrated dose of fast-absorbing sugars directly into an empty system. Blood sugar spikes sharply. Your pancreas receives an emergency signal. Release a surge of insulin immediately, not gradually, all at once. At the very same moment, it must also release digestive enzymes because food just arrived. So this one small organ, coming out of overnight rest, is simultaneously managing a blood sugar emergency and a full digestive response. Do this every morning for 10 years and tell me the organ doesn't wear down. That glass of packaged orange juice? One glass contains the sugar equivalent of 5 to 6 teaspoons, and the fructose in fruit juice behaves differently from table sugar. It bypasses the bloodstream and goes straight to the liver, triggering the release of fatty acids that then travel to and damage the pancreas. You think you're drinking vitamins. You're actually running two damaging processes at the same time. Habit 2. One large meal instead of several small ones. I'll describe a pattern I see constantly. Nothing in the morning except tea. Barely anything midday because life is busy. And then in the evening, a full spread. Soup, a main course. Bread, something sweet, maybe seconds. The food that should have been distributed across 4 meals is consumed in one sitting. Think of the pancreas like a small water pump designed to deliver a steady, thin stream. Then suddenly someone demands it fill a fire hose in 5 minutes. The enzyme fluid fills the internal ducts. Those tiny tubes, beyond capacity. Pressure builds. The fluid can't drain fast enough. The enzymes back up and begin activating inside the gland. Not from alcohol, not from disease. From your dinner schedule. Habit 3. Fat and sugar on the same plate. Birthday cake. Pastries with buttercream. A rich layered dessert after a fatty main. These are the foods of celebration. Warmth, tradition, love. I understand that, and I'm not going to tell you to never enjoy them again. But I do need you to understand what happens when fat and sugar arrive simultaneously. Fat digestion requires lipase. Sugar management requires insulin. These are two completely separate high-demand systems. When they're triggered at the same time, the combined strain, repeated over years, causes fat deposits to form inside the pancreatic tissue itself, a condition called steatosis. If you've ever seen the words diffuse changes on an ultrasound report and didn't know what they meant, now you do. It means functional tissue has already been replaced by fat, fewer cells to produce enzymes, fewer cells to produce insulin. This is precisely why so many people over 55 develop elevated blood sugar seemingly out of nowhere. Habit 4. Lying down right after you eat. You finish a satisfying meal. You feel that comfortable heaviness. The couch calls. 5 minutes won't hurt. But here's the physics of it. The pancreatic duct, the narrow tube that carries enzyme fluid out of the gland, relies partly on gravity to flow correctly. When you're upright, it flows freely. When you lie down, it slows. Fluid pools. Pressure builds. And if there's even mild swelling in the duct lining, which almost always happens after a substantial meal, the enzymes can't exit. They back up. Autodigestion begins, in miniature, every single day. Those 5 minutes on the couch aren't neutral. They're cumulative damage delivered twice a day, every day. Habit 5. And this one surprises people. Chronic stress. The pancreas is directly wired to your nervous system through the vagus nerve, the longest nerve in your body, running from your brainstem all the way down to your digestive organs. When you feel calm, this nerve keeps your ducts relaxed, your blood flow healthy, your enzyme movement smooth. This is called rest and digest mode. When you're chronically anxious, worrying about family, finances, health, running the news through your head at midnight, your body stays in fight or flight. Stress hormones redirect blood away from your digestive organs. The pancreatic ducts go into spasm. Blood flow drops. Enzyme fluid stagnates. and then you sit down and eat in that state. Researchers at Columbia University found that stress hormones, specifically the catecholamines, trigger a self-amplifying cycle. They stimulate nerve endings in inflamed pancreatic tissue. Those nerve endings produce more stress hormones, which cause more inflammation. The loop feeds itself. Even more striking, scientists discovered the pancreas contains a specific protective compound at higher concentrations than any other organ. Under sustained chronic stress, within approximately 18 hours, that compound becomes nearly undetectable. The gland is left exposed to its own enzymes with no defense. You can eat perfectly. If you live in chronic anxiety, the damage continues. Section 3. The drink, the recipe you came for. Now, here's the recipe. 2 ingredients, available in every grocery store. Combined, they do something that no expensive supplement has ever replicated, and the science behind it is solid. Flaxseeds and chamomile, that's it. 2 of the oldest medicinal substances in human history. Used across Caucasian mountain communities, traditional Eastern medicine, and ancient herbalism, long before anyone had a laboratory. Modern science has since confirmed exactly what they do and why. When flax seeds make contact with warm water, they release something called mucilage, a thick, slightly gel-like substance that coats the stomach and intestinal walls like a gentle film. This mucilage does 3 specific things for your pancreas. 1. It reduces the aggressiveness of digestive enzymes against already inflamed tissue. 2. It decreases irritation along the intestinal lining, which eases pressure on the nearby pancreatic ducts. 3. It gently promotes the outward flow of pancreatic secretions, helping enzyme fluid move in the right direction instead of backing up. Chamomile is a natural antispasmodic. It relaxes the smooth muscle in the ducts, reduces localized swelling, and calms the inflammatory signaling that makes chronic pancreatitis so persistent. Together, these 2 don't compete with each other. They complete each other. Flax protects and coats. Chamomile relaxes and soothes. Here is the exact recipe. The evening before, place 1 tablespoon of whole flax seeds, not ground, not flaxseed oil, but the whole seeds, into 1 glass of plain room temperature water. Leave them overnight, 8 to 10 hours. During that time, the seeds swell and release their mucilage directly into the water. In the morning, without straining, place the glass on the lowest heat setting on your stove. Add 1 chamomile tea bag, or 1 teaspoon of dried chamomile flowers. Bring it only to the first small bubbles at the bottom of the pot. Not a rolling boil, just that quiet moment when the first tiny bubbles appear. Remove from heat immediately. Cover it, steep for 5 minutes. Remove the chamomile. What you have is a warm, slightly thick drink with a gentle herbal quality. Drink it slowly, small sips, 30 minutes before breakfast. The flax seeds at the bottom? You can eat them. They won't cause harm. If the texture bothers you, strain through a fine sieve. The course: 14 consecutive days, then a 1-week pause. Then repeat if desired. Most people notice something real by day 3 or 4. The heaviness under the left rib eases. The post-meal bloating quiets down. That sense of lightness after eating, the one you may not even remember having, starts to return. One important caution: if you have known gallstones, even small ones your doctor said to monitor, please consult your physician before starting this drink. Flaxseed mucilage has a mild bile-stimulating effect. If larger stones are present, encouraging bile flow could trigger movement. Always safety first. Section 4. The 7-day recovery protocol. The drink is the centerpiece, but the recovery protocol that surrounds it is what makes it work. 3 words to write down right now: warm, soft, frequent. Warm, because cold food causes duct spasm. Soft, because fried or coarse food demands a massive enzyme surge. Frequent, 4 to 5 small meals daily, each no larger than what fits in 2 of your fists. Morning, wake slowly. Before getting up, do 5 cycles of diaphragmatic breathing right in bed. Breathe in through the nose for 4 counts, belly rises. Hold for 2. Breathe out through the mouth for 6 counts, belly draws in. The long exhale directly activates the vagus nerve and switches your body into rest and digest mode before your first meal. Then drink your flax chamomile drink. Wait 20 to 30 minutes. Then eat a soft boiled egg, plain cottage cheese, or rolled oats cooked in water with no sugar. No juice, no sweet rolls. Warm water first, always. Midday, lunch 3 to 4 hours after breakfast. Always start with something vegetable-based, a broth soup, cooked greens. Then your protein, boiled chicken, steamed fish, egg, or cottage cheese. Carbohydrates come last, and in small amounts. Buckwheat cooked in water is ideal. After eating, 20 minutes upright. Walk around, wash dishes, stand outside. Not a workout, just gravity doing its job. Afternoon snack, a glass of fresh kefir, 2.5 to 3.5% fat, no more than 3 days old. That freshness matters. Live lactic acid bacteria are what make it therapeutic. Add a small handful of walnuts or a baked apple. Baked apples are remarkable for the recovering pancreas. Soft, warm, naturally sweet without spiking blood sugar. Evening. Dinner no later than 3 hours before bed. Keep it light. Steamed fish with braised vegetables, buckwheat with boiled chicken, or cottage cheese with half a teaspoon of honey. Nothing fatty, nothing fried, nothing sweet after the meal. 20 minutes upright after eating. Then 5 to 7 cycles of belly breathing before sleep. This quiets the nervous system and allows the pancreas to work gently and efficiently through the night. Before bed, soak tomorrow morning's flax seeds. 1 tablespoon, 1 glass of room temperature water. Done. Section 5, 3 signs. Your pancreas is already asking for help. Before I close, I want you to do a quick self-assessment. Sign 1. Look at your chest, abdomen, and shoulders. Do you see tiny, bright red pinpoint dots? They don't itch, don't hurt, don't flake. They sit on the skin like small drops of red paint. These are called Tugeline sign, tiny vascular changes that appear when pancreatic enzymes leak into the bloodstream and damage the walls of capillaries. 1 or 2 may be incidental. A scattering of 10, 20, 30 across the torso is a clinical signal, not a cosmetic one. Sign 2. Look at the back of your neck, your armpits, the folds of your inner arms. If the skin there appears noticeably darker than surrounding skin, velvety in texture, unchanged by washing, this is not a tan. It's called acanthosis nigricans, and it is directly linked to insulin resistance. It tells you the pancreas has been overproducing insulin for years. The cells have gradually stopped responding, and insulin is now accumulating in abnormal amounts in the bloodstream. You are not looking at a skin condition. You are looking at a metabolic warning. Sign 3. Persistently dry, flaking skin, cracks at the corners of your mouth, brittle nails. If you've been buying more moisturizer and lip balm than ever before, consider this. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are only absorbed through fat. If the pancreas cannot produce sufficient fat-digesting enzymes, these vitamins never reach your bloodstream. The skin dries, the lips crack. You treat the symptom, not the source. 2 or more of these signs. Please get 4 specific tests. I'll name them clearly. Serum amylase, serum lipase, fecal elastase, and glycated hemoglobin. Add an abdominal ultrasound. Bring those results to a gastroenterologist, not with a vague complaint, but with your numbers in hand. A prepared patient receives entirely different care. I've spent years watching what happens when this organ is pushed past what it can handle, and watching patients genuinely recover when they finally give it what it needs. The pancreas is forgiving. It responds. Not in a year. Many of my patients feel a real difference within a week. But only if you act. And only if you stay consistent past the point when you start feeling better. Because feeling better is not the same as being healed. Start with just 1 change this week. Don't lie down after meals. That's it. That 1 shift, staying upright for 20 minutes after eating, costs nothing, requires nothing, and begins rebuilding the conditions your pancreas needs to drain and recover. Add the flaxseed chamomile drink next. 2 ingredients, 10 minutes of preparation the night before, under $2, then build from there. If this video helped you understand something about your body that you didn't understand before, please share it with someone you care about. Subscribe if you want more of this. Practical, honest, evidence-backed guidance designed specifically for where we are in life. And leave me a comment. Tell me your age. Tell me if any of what I described today resonated with you. I read every single one. I'm Dr. Michael Adeyemi. Take care of that pancreas. It's been taking care of you for a very long time.